Osun State government has filed a suit at the Supreme Court against the Attorney General of the Federation over alleged unlawful withholding of statutory allocations meant for its 30 local government councils since March 2025. In the originating summons filed on Monday on behalf of Osun State by a team of lawyers led by Mike Ozekome, SAN, and Musiwa Adetumbi, SAN, the state is asking the Apex Court to compel the federal government to release all withheld funds and to stop what it described as an unconstitutional and arbitrary seizure of local government allocations. The All Progressives Congress in Osun State has criticized the Governor Ademola Adeleke-led administration for what it described as inconsistency and confusion in its handling of the dispute over withheld local government councils' funds, while the People's Democratic Party caucus in the House of Representatives has described the withholding of the local government allocations of Osun State as undemocratic. Joining us to discuss the withholding of local government councils' funds by the federal government is Kunle Adegoke, a senior advocate of Nigeria. Good morning, Mr. Adegoke. You're most welcome to the show.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to be here.
Morning, sir. Morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Well, Mr. Adegoke, good to have you on the program.
Thank you very much, sir.
I think we should first of all establish your bona fide in this matter.
Okay.
You are a member of the All Progressives Congress.
Sure.
You are also a gubernatorial aspirant in the forthcoming election in Osun State.
Sure.
So you are an interested party in this conversation.
On the side of the APC.
On the side of the APC.
As a
I'm
senior,
even counsel in many of the matters.
Okay. As a senior legal practitioner, are you not concerned that public opinion is overwhelmingly against your party and the APC government in this matter? The federal government having decided, contrary to the rulings at the level of the appeal court, to withhold funds meant for local governments in Osun State. As an officer in the Temple of Justice, forget politics. Are you not concerned?
I'm deeply concerned, and that is why I'm here. And why I'm concerned is because of the narratives that have been sold to the public, which are quite wrong, by the Osun State government and the People's Democratic Party. And that is why it is important, because they have run from pillar to post, from one media house to another, selling false narratives, which must be corrected. Otherwise, the members of the public will be condemning the federal government, will be condemning APC, and which will be a wrong conclusion. And that is why I'm here.
All right. Okay, so break it down for us. From your own, now away from politics, according to the law, and again, you're a senior advocate of Nigeria, so I'm sure that you're going to speak based on the provisions of the law.
Right.
And then you tell us where the Osun State government has erred or how they are misinforming the public. Okay. Because they cite rulings of court, they cite the Constitution, they've described it as unconstitutional, the federal government withholding funds from the state government. Now they're taking it all the way to the Supreme Court. So what is the wrong information there? And is there any justification for this, for ignoring court orders, withholding LG funds? What's the justification?
Okay. Now, we need to trace this from the origin of the entire story itself. In 2022, the government of Alhaji Adegoke was about conducting local government elections in the state when PDP went to court to challenge the competence of OSEC, Osun State Independent Electoral Commission, to conduct the particular election. What they were challenging was that the law, which was the 2015 local government law, was wrong for OSEC to proceed on to conduct that particular election. Along the way, they filed, because that particular law was amended by the House of Assembly, so by the 2022 local government law now. So they now went to court to amend the originating process they had already filed based on the 2015 law. APC objected to that because that would make the action to be incompetent. Now the Federal High Court refused to agree with APC on that. APC went to the Court of Appeal, and the Court of Appeal was like, look, wait till the determination of the entire suit. Now, 2 suits were filed by PDP. The first one was the one that I just talked about now. The second one was filed using APP, the Action People's Party. So which that one filed, but the same lawyer representing PDP in the first suit filed the second one on the same grounds, the same claims, the same facts. Now, on the 25th of November 2022, the Federal High Court delivered judgment in the case filed by PDP. and said the election was wrongly conducted, nullified the election, sent everybody home, all the elected APC chairmen and councillors. 2 days after, on the 27th, Governor Adegoke was sworn in. On the swearing-in ground, he dissolved the councils without even giving the officers affected their right of appeal, their constitutional right of appeal. He didn't wait for the length of time required by law so that they could exercise their right of appeal. He dissolved the councils and sent everybody home. We didn't want a crisis because we had just lost the governorship election. So we agreed that, okay, everybody should go home. Let us pursue the legal route. So we went to the Court of Appeal. Now, 3 days after, on the 30th of November, the same Federal Court now delivered judgment in the APP's case and was still dissolving the same local government councils that it had dissolved 5 days ago. In law, such a decision is regarded as being academic because there is nothing any longer to be dissolved. The councils have been dissolved, all the officers have been sacked by that judgment. In fact, that particular judgment had been executed by the by the governor. He had already enforced it. Everybody had already been sent packing. Now, APC appealed that decision of the PDP case to the Court of Appeal. That judgment, the judgment in that one was delivered on February 10, 2025, wherein the court said that the suit itself was premature, was preemptive. The party that filed it, PDP, had no locus, had no competence to even file the action because there was no issue already in existence to be challenged, and that decision was set aside. Now, having ruled on that, the implication is that nothing was in existence with respect to that particular case. Now, the second case that I said was merely academic. APC decided not to pursue the appeal. But when the noise was so much by the PDP and the government of Osun that the Federal High Court decision was still subsisting and what have you, APC filed an application because now the PDP filed an application to dismiss that second appeal because APC did not compile records. APC and the APM did not compile records. The court, in one-line ruling, said this appeal is hereby dismissed for want of prosecution. That's all. Nothing was decided in that because there was no appeal, technically speaking. Now, that appeal filed against the APP decision, the decision of November 30 that I said was merely academic, was dismissed for want of prosecution. When the noise was now so much by the government of Osun and the PDP that the Court of Appeal had validated the decision in the Federal High Court, whatever, APC said, okay, let us apply for this appeal to be heard on its merit. Then it applied for it to be relisted so that it could be heard on its merit. That application was made in January. Now, the court heard that application and refused to release that appeal on June 30. So the implication is that as at the time that the PDP was making that claim that the Federal High Court had validated its position and what have you, there was an appeal pending because there was an application for leave to appeal and what have you is tantamount to an appeal. And the APC had brought an application to release that appeal that had been dismissed. On the other hand, now, on February 10, the Court of Appeal upheld the position of APC that the case filed by PDP was incompetent. And on that basis, that decision of the Federal High Court, which was the effective decision by which the councils were dissolved.
Adegoke, please, let's go through all this legal...
No, because I need to explain the facts, otherwise we won't get why...
No, which is the latest in terms of the ruling.
Exactly.
Now, in June,
right.
Is it not true that the Court of Appeal, ruled and said that the APC officials that were installed by the APC, that they were not validly, occupying that position, and therefore, the court ruled that they should vacate their seats.
Thank you.
Isn't that the
that
latest?
is not it.
And if the APC says it does not recognize that, I mean, you as a senior lawyer, isn't that contemptuous of the court?
That is not the case, sir.
Okay.
I'm sure, you being a lawyer, you'll be in a position to appreciate what I'm going to say now. The decision of the Court of Appeal on June 13 did not say anything of that nature. You and I will agree that it is the leading judgment of the Court of Appeal that is the judgment of the court, even the Supreme Court. Because here is a panel of about 3 in the Court of Appeal or 5 in the Supreme Court. It is the leading judgment. Any concurring opinion of a justice of the Court of Appeal or Supreme Court must align with the decision in the leading judgment. Now, the decision that they are trying to rely on went away from the leading judgment, from the leading ruling of the Court of Appeal. That is the decision of Justice Oyelola. That now went ahead and said something. Minority, no, it's not even minority now because it is an obiter. The Supreme Court in Akifo-Osile and Joseph said that such a decision by a concurring justice of the court would be an obiter that did not even form part of the judgment of the court at all if it is against the decision it contained in the leading judgment or ruling. So what the Court of Appeal said is that the Court of Appeal, Justice Obiora, concluded in his ruling, in his lordship's ruling to the effect that the court will not be in a position to release that appeal that had been dismissed for want of prosecution because the court will not want to sit on appeal on its judgment of February 10, 2025. The judgment of February 10, 2025 is the one we are saying reinstated the APC chairmen and councillors that were wrongly removed by the governor, by the government of Governor Adegoke. Now, the Court of Appeal is now saying on June 13, 2025, that releasing that appeal will amount to sitting on its earlier judgment, whereby it had dismissed the same issue, the same facts, the same contention brought by PDP. So it will not be in a position to release that appeal. That is the substance, the locus, I mean, the substance of that decision, the ratio decidendi of that particular decision. Nothing was said by Justice Obiora to the effect that maybe the councillors of PDP are now the valid people in office, or the APC chairman and councillors have been sacked. There's nothing like that. I have it on my laptop here. I've even gone through it this morning, scrutinizing it critically.
Because there are many sides to this. You know, when the other person came to speak for, his arguments was totally different. You know, the argument they kept on making was, when you look at it, that when you people went on appeal, that the decision was clear, that the Federal High Court decision subsists. That's the argument they keep on making here. But like I asked the person the last time that came here, another SAM, and what's the way forward? Because of all of this political, I didn't even know that you two were running, you know, until recently that we started seeing that you are leaving us here in the analysis bench and you are
crossing to
the other bench. Okay. But so what is the solution? Are you people going to go to the Supreme Court for interpretation as regards this? And is there also a political solution? And is this also happening because some people have argued that? Is this also happening because APC is at the center?
No, not at all. It's not because APC is at the center. Let me give you why it is the PDP and the government in Osun that are frustrating the situation, that are frustrating payment of the local government funds.
But the same thing, they are also saying the same thing for you too.
APC has not filed a single case, sir.
But does APC have a right to stop the payment of those funds?
Yes, because the decision of the Supreme Court in AG, yes, the government has the right to stop payment because there's nobody to be paid to right now from the PDP angle. What the PDP government is saying in Osun is that money should be paid directly to the state government because the people they purported to elect on February 20 this year, they are not in office one. They don't have an account with the CBN. No, local government in Osun, from their own end, do not have any account with the CBN. The decision, you remember, I came here to analyze why the decision of the Supreme Court upholding the autonomy of the local government has not been implemented by the federal government. And I said it is the state governors that are frustrating it. One of them is this Osun State government's case. They have filed so many cases in so many courts right now as we speak. They have a case in Elisha. They first of all filed, they used Nolge. Nolge, that is a trade union, filed a case at the Osun State High Court in Ikirun, challenging that APC should not be APC councillors and chairmen should not be recognized as valid officers of local government, and saying that it is the PDP purportedly elected officers that should be recognized, and that the money should not be paid to APC. Now, when we challenge the competence of Nolge, the judge said, look, I recuse myself from this matter. Then the matter was transferred before Judge Zagbola in Elisha. Now, having submitted all issues before that court, that what is Nolge's business in this one? You are a trade union. You should be fighting for your members, not supporting a political party. When they got that, okay, that one was about to be heard, they filed a notice of discontinuance of that case. On what ground? They said the Court of Appeal has upheld their position that they are the validly elected persons. We now said, look, where was that one said? So that one is there till today. They now went to the Federal High Court in Osogbo, filed another suit asking for similar reliefs. Then PDP purportedly elected chairmen and councillors also filed another suit saying that the money should not be paid at Ilesha. They have that one pending as well. At the same time, they went to the Supreme Court, filed another suit. The federal government should be restrained from paying the money to the elected councillors and chairmen of APC. And then they are now claiming that, okay, the money should be paid to the state government, which will be in violation of the decision of the Supreme Court. The state government that has been prosecuting all these cases has no business whatsoever. The local government should be the ones, if these monies are released today to the authentic leaders of the local government, the local government workers will be paid. Others that are now making the case that, okay, their money will be paid. Because APC councillors and chairmen will not take this money and be doing party now and be celebrating. They will pay the appropriate persons.
Okay, Mr. So what is the
now the way forward is for PDP and the government in Osun to allow this money to be released to the authentic leaders of the council that are in existence right now, who have opened accounts with the CBN. Today, local governments in Osun, they have accounts with CBN.
Okay.
Then, sorry, sir.
Clarification there.
Sorry, sir. The government of Osun, using the Attorney General of the state, filed an action at the Supreme Court, challenging the competence, at the Federal Court. They sued the Attorney General of the Federation, they sued the Accountant General of the Federation, they sued the Central Bank of Nigeria, that the money should not be released. So if you are the one filing cases here and there, saying the money should not be released, and at the same time you are going to the market to say that, okay, you are the one being victimized. You are playing victim. At the same time, you are the one frustrated. Today now, just yesterday, they filed a suit at the Supreme Court, having withdrawn the earlier one. They withdrew the earlier one when the lawyers representing the AGF and the CBN filed applications, representing the Attorney General, Chief Legitimacy, filed contesting their facts. They quickly withdrew it. They filed notice of discontinuance. Today now, they have filed a new suit. Then they now brought an application. Let me now explain how their chickenry becomes clearer. Do you know that the suit at the Federal High Court in Osogbo, when they filed it, suing the CBN, AGF, and then the Accountant General, and we filed counter affidavit and everything against them, that look, the money cannot be released to your purported, they don't have an account with the CBN, and cannot be released to the Osun State government. The next thing they did was to file, the day the matter was to be heard, my learned brother Sikh, Musba Adetumbi, SAN, filed an application, sent a letter in that he was not able to attend the court proceedings because it was supposed to be elsewhere. The matter was now adjourned to November. Okay. So now the matter having been adjourned, we now said, look, the Attorney General of the Federation became disturbed because the noise is about him withholding the money. He now filed he now sent in the letter requesting that, okay, rather than waiting till November, let this matter be heard by a vacation judge. It is the federal government now that is now pushing that the suit filed by the Attorney General of Osun should be heard by a vacation judge. They filed an application that the matter should not be transferred to a vacation judge. Okay. They are the ones frustrating this, the release of the funds.
Mr. Adegoke, we need to manage time. That's why I've been signaling to you.
Oh, sorry.
To just summarize.
Yes.
Now, 2 clarifications. 1, you said, the federal government can withhold the funds and all of that. Now, how is that the case, considering the decision in AG Lagos versus AG Federation, and also AG Abia versus AG Federation, and considering the fact that the NBA, Afamosigwe SAN, has already written an opinion on this Osun matter, and is saying that the NBA considers what is going on, namely the withholding of local government funds, unconstitutional and illegal, and that the NBA may move into the matter and try to show interest from a public law interest perspective. That's number 1. But you say something different. Number 2, you admitted now that there is a local government account that has already been opened at the Central Bank, perhaps on the advice of the Attorney General. Yes. Who are the signatories to those accounts? Are they APC officials or statutory civil servants working for local councils in Osun State? Because if it is APC officials, that in itself will look like a violation of due process. Very briefly.
The purported officials that you mentioned working for the local government have been on strike since February, pitching tent with the PDP government and its pretenders. They have been on strike since February. claiming that they will not resume until the APC chairman and councillors are removed. So how do we?
So
they are the
APC
ones.
officials are the ones
Yes,
who are
they are the ones that are-
statutory,
yes,
who are
now.
the signatories.
Yeah, they are the signatories. So if this money comes in
Is that
today,
not jumping the gun on
this
the
is not
part of
jumping
your
the gun.
clients?
If the workers come back to work today, if the workers should come back to work today, they will be the signatories. But they are not working. They are staying at home.
Okay, the
right.
decision in AG Lagos and the AG Abia case.
Yes, the AG Federation and AG Abia case has
And
said
MBA
that
intervening.
has said that payments should be made to elected council officers, to democratically elected officers, not a council that has no democratic officers. Now, if payment should not be made to the state government, you know that payments have always been made to the JAC, the Joint Allocation Account of the state, under the control of the governor. And that is how they've been subverting the autonomy of the local government that you and I argued and protested should be should not be the case.
Thank you so much for your time with us this morning. We're far out of time. Thank you.
Oh,
for your
thank
time.
you.